Really interesting challenge, six straight on the road in conference play. I know we've never done that before. I don't know if anybody's ever done that before. So a lot of unique things this year. But to be able to, when we first scheduled Southwest Minnesota State, when we lost those 2 home games, we were a little bit worried about what that would happen, what would happen to us down the stretch, what our legs would be like. And, we were able to come out and play with good energy both those games. That was kind of our big key going in, is just to, be ready to compete and get after it. I really got off to a great start the first night. I think we were up, 16-4 or something like that. But really pleased with the energy of all our guys. You're playing in those empty gyms. They're not allowing fans in the state of Minnesota right now. So we just challenged our guys to have as much fun as possible, be up on the bench, be jumping around. And they did a great job of that. And that kind of started us off on the right foot. And then, we were able to carry that over through the whole weekend. It's not easy to beat the same team twice, especially wrapping up a road trip. So really happy to get a 2-game road streak. And really happy, with some of the efforts of the guys on our team. Sam Ulrich had a great weekend for us. It was nice to see him step up, and that's a sign of a team that's getting better. If you have somebody who's not playing their best, you have somebody on the bench that can, make up for them and kind of take up the slack and step right in and be ready to go. So big credit for Sam in both those games. It was a huge spark for us.
A couple weeks ago, we saw Jackson Gunville come in and make some big shots, score some points for you guys, and then you just mentioned Sam Ulrich. What do guys like that, their performances, what does that mean for your depth going forward?
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. We've got a lot of guys, that are some of them are playing the first time for us this year. Some of them are, like Sam, have been in the program for a few years, but Sam's, Sam was coming off an injury and was a little bit not himself last year, coming off an ACL injury. So those guys that are coming back or kind of getting back out there, it's just to get them comfortable and get them making winning plays it's really the biggest key for our basketball team right now, is for more guys to continue to play well, play with confidence, play with great energy. So I was really happy with Sam. It kind of shows the way for some of those other guys of what we need. Be ready to go. When you get an opportunity, make the most of it. Win us a few possessions. Get out there, compete, and fly around and play the way that you're capable of. And it's only going to help our basketball team to have more and more depth. So hopefully we can continue to have guys do that and play better and put themselves in position by having great weeks of practice to be ready on Friday and Saturday nights.
Talk to the fact that the team has shot over 50 or better percent in the last couple of games. They've really been kind of knocking it down and seeing, the basket well.
Yeah, it's starting to fit together pretty well. With a couple of our guys, in Cody Dwyer and Melvin Newbern, had surgeries in the preseason this year, so they weren't able to practice much together first semester. And kind of get those guys back out there and working together for the first time after Christmas break. And I think guys are getting a little bit more comfortable where we need them to be, and what we expect from them. And I think in stretches we've been really hard to guard and looked good. Guys are kind of learning where they can be effective, and their teammates are learning that as well. But got to continue to fix that, because I think, in stretches we're so efficient offensively, and we got to keep the basketball moving. And when we have ball and player movement, like any basketball team, it's difficult to guard. So, and sharing the basketball pretty well as well. So, just continuing to get those guys comfortable in different situations, and especially those newcomers. But it was, it's great to see Sam have so much success in that way too. I think he was like 7 of 9 from the floor the first game, which is a huge night, and putting himself in good spots. So, again, just the more guys that are a threat offensively, the better for us, obviously.
You mentioned Melvin Newbern, and his numbers are obviously phenomenal. A double-double on Friday night, almost getting there, just a rebound away on Saturday afternoon. But outside of his statistics and all that, what else does he bring to the team?
Well, he's just, he's got some good experience, but he's like I said, he's been injured. He was out last year, so he's kind of going a year without playing. It's not the easiest thing to come back. And when he's been good, he's been really good for us. He brings a lot of energy to our team. It's just, he's a tough matchup because he's such a good rebounder, but then he can push the basketball in the open court as well. He's a good passer as well. And, he's just kind of been up and down a little bit early for us, getting comfortable. But as you mentioned, great weekend for him. Averaged close to 20 points and 10 rebounds a game over a 2-game stretch on the road. Had four or five assists on the weekend and only 1 or 2 turnovers. So, and just a guy that's going to continue to get better, I think. And he's kind of getting used to, as I mentioned, he didn't really get cleared to practice till second semester. Still fighting through a few things, still some situations out there that you can tell he hasn't had a chance to practice quite as much as we'd like him to. But his effort's always great. And he's a guy that's really been a big key for us and will continue to be a big key for us.
So the two-game win streak, it's the first time 2 in a row this season for Minnesota State. How will you carry over that momentum into Bemidji State this weekend?
Yeah, it's just, it's about execution. It's about coming out and being ready to defend their personnel the way that we want to, execute a game plan. And I thought in stretches, man, we were really good at defensively in a game plan. And it's just nice to have those things on film and be able to say, okay, guys, especially you new guys, like when we're talking about things during the week and how we're going to defend this action or that action, now they can see themselves out there and when it was successful or when we weren't successful and why that was, and just kind of getting guys to say, oh, that you see that the light kind of comes on for a few guys. Oh, that's why we've been doing that, and that's how everything fits together from a scouting report to the drill work that we're doing 2-on-2 or 3-on-3 at practice to 5-on-5 on Saturday afternoon, and how that all fits together. And that's fun to see for some guys, especially, as I mentioned, the new guys that are kind of in our system for the first time. So just got to keep coaching them up. Got to keep helping them be confident of what we're doing and what their role is on us being successful. Because, I think we've got 4 or 5 guys that aren't playing great right now in our bench that can still help us a lot more, and just trying to help them be successful, Tuesday afternoon today and build that confidence up. We've got to keep doing that as a coaching staff.
Obviously, without giving away too much about your game plan for this upcoming weekend, but what challenges is Bemidji going to present for you guys?
Yeah, they've got a lot of experience. They've got some a senior and a junior inside players that are really good, really physical, one of the more physical teams, certainly on the north side of our league. So I think that's going to give us a something that we have to be aware of. And then a couple senior guards as well that had big weekends last weekend that can shoot the basketball and have been playing in this league for a long time. So, just they don't have great depth, but they do have, some guys that have been around and been successful. So, we've been a little up and down in our rebounding. When we win that battle, we're usually in good shape. So that'll be a challenge against them as well with those physical frontline players that they have. So definitely, that's the most exciting thing is you win or lose, you're asking after the game, okay, what can we do to be better? How can we grow as a team? And really just feeling like we've only played 3 different teams now, which is hard to believe, considering that we're saying that we're halfway through the season or that we only have 4 weeks left. We've only played 3 different teams. And just that experience of how can we look at that and say, okay, this is what I learned from the first weekend, the second weekend, the third weekend. We're really experience-wise for this year's team, where you'd be about the time that non-conference is wrapping up, or maybe even a little earlier than that. So that means there's a lot of room for growth still, and just having that growth mindset and being able to, see how we can improve. Man, it's just so huge every year, but especially this year with not as many games and scrimmages and that sort of thing to go through. So again, hard to believe we got 4 more weeks of basketball in our season. So just gotta make the most of it. Gotta be excited. Gotta have fun, and gotta just be ready to compete every day. All right, thanks guys. Appreciate it.